All right, so we got the chapter 294 leaks, and the big reveal this time is Mr. Compress's face and I guess identity and lineage and everything like that, because this also confirms one of the theories that we've had in the community about Mr. Compress since that comment he made a couple chapters back when it was revealed that Dabi was in fact Toya, and we'll get into that, but let's just go over the summary first and then we'll go more into that stuff. So the title of the chapter is Last Stage, and the chapter starts with panels of Aizawa, Mirko, Hawks, Mount Lady, and Endeavor in unconscious states. Deku was also shown to be in a backward falling position. Best Jeanist was still holding Makia, who fell due to the tranquilizer. While Mirio, Ida, Bakugo, and Nejiri were trying to fight the Nomus, it was stated that the Nomus have about equal power to the high-end that appeared in Kyushu about 100 chapters ago. So that's the high-end Nomu Hood. So these near high-ends, as they call them, or pseudo high-ends, I forget what the official translation is, but it's basically stated that they're not like full-blown high-ends. They're like, you know, almost high-end. So the fact that one of these, you'll see it's this one that has like, it almost looks like Crust's quirk coming out of it. It can do like, kind of like a Detroit Smash almost. It's kind of weird and I guess inconsistent that these guys are as strong as Hood, because Hood was like the high end and like he was exceptionally powerful for his time. So the fact that these guys are like just as strong as him, it makes it seem like everything that happened before this like is insignificant. I mean, of course, we'll have to wait for the official translations. This is just rough, so I'm sure it'll change. But regardless, this is just showing it's a very stiff test for a pretty good team here, you know, with Mirio, Ida, and Nejiri, and then like 1/4 of Bakugo is there as well, because, you know, going further, Ida was telling Bakugo to step back, saying, "Great explosion, murder, god dynamite, please step back." He said that to Bakugo, was in no condition to fight. Bakugo regretfully admits that Ida was right, and he couldn't talk back anyway because his voice won't come out. So we already knew Bakugo was completely wrecked coming up to this point. I guess it's like a miracle that he was even able to perform the feat of power that he did in the previous chapter, despite taking that major wound, you know, through his torso a couple chapters back through the forced quirk activation spikes. But Bakugo admitting that he's pretty much down and out and he can't really do anything more at this point, at least in his head, I think is further showing that, like, yeah, we're definitely wrapping this arc up right now. I mean, especially what we're gonna go into towards the end of this summary. I'm thinking that we're definitely coming to the end of this arc, and things are looking pretty bright for the series after this point. Considering this is definitely not their last battle, and it's made evident, of course, since this is Bakugo and Izuku, of course. Since Makia was down, Jeanist put his energy to get the rest of the League of Villains. He's trying to ring Shigaraki, Spinner, and Compress to the point of KO. Toga was shown in one panel, still running and crying, question mark, in an alley. So yeah, we do see this, and like I've been saying, you know, these past couple reviews, is that Toga is still on her way here. You know, she was in her little scuffle with Uraraka trying to get answers to her questions and stuff a couple chapters back, and then after they had their encounter, Toga like left, and then assumedly on her way to go reunite with the League of Villains and Makia, and I guess that's still what she's doing here. And I thought that she was going to come in at the last moment and do something that was going to allow the League of Villains to escape. Spinner said his last words, saying that he loved the League of Villains, but Mr. Compress broke free and used his quirk on Spinner and Shigaraki. So this is awesome. But like I said, I thought it was gonna be Toga coming to save the day, but no, it's Mr. Compress. He's finally having like his moment of significance, and I've always wondered about this. He came along with like the Vanguard unit, and he stuck around after that, even, you know, stuck around after Magna, despite having little to no development on him. We didn't even know what his identity was. We didn't know what his face looked like. He always had, you know, multiple different masks on. And it was like, where is everything headed? And it's going to be what we're gonna be talking about. But I also like that he's like using his quirk to grab up Spinner and Shigaraki. Maybe he'll even do it to Gigantomachia. I don't know if there's a size limit to his quirk. Maybe there is. That would be a little too broken if he could just snatch up anything like a cruise ship or a skyscraper or something, but maybe he can. Like, this is essentially how they're gonna make it out of here, or until, you know, further notice. He then monologues revealing that he was the descendant of Harima Ouija, or however you say that name, one of the elite famous criminals back in the day. So this is a huge revelation. Like I said in the beginning of this video, this confirms one of the theories that the community has had regarding Compress, And that's because, you know, when Dabi reveals that he is Toya, he says something like, so you're not the only one with a famous bloodline, or something like that. So what exactly is Mr. Compress saying here? Is he talking about Shigaraki, or is he talking about himself? And turns out he is in fact talking about himself. And then it led to like, okay, so if he is talking about himself, then who is he related to? And then, you know, we had to scour back into the known lore of the world and, you know, the previous big people within it. And we go back to that one sequence where we found out about, you know, the previous villains of history, like All For One. And aside from him, it was Destro. And then it was this guy, Harima Ouija, or Orija, however you say his name. And then we're like, okay, so maybe Mr. Compress is related to that guy. And yes, it is in fact true. He is related to that guy. The scene changes into Toya and Shoto. Toya told Shoto, sorry, Shoto, the situation has changed. Not only Todoroki Enji is not broken, he's unconscious. So there's no point in continuing the show. Sorry, best creation. And then Dabi jet burned Shoto and went to Compress. Shoto was shown to fall and get burned. So yeah, I guess this is gonna be the ending of Shoto versus Dabi, or Shoto versus Toya. I mean, like I said before, I didn't think there was really gonna be any like finality to this fight, because I guess this is straight up confirming this is definitely not the last arc. So it does look like we're gonna have like an entire second half to this series at this point. So this was just the first encounter between them, I guess, because I guess it is being set up that Dabi is going to be Shoto's final opponent. Like the big three all need to have like their final, you know, end all be all opponents. But I just thought that Dabi killing Endeavor would have been even more motivation for Shoto to go after him, but I guess maybe it's not even needed. I guess there's enough motivation there. And then Mr. Compress reveals his face and said, may the curtain rise for the escape show, end of chapter. So yeah, this is what Mr. Compress looks like. He looks very similar to Harima, you know, at least that what we've seen before. Makes sense, he's his descendant. And yeah, everybody's fangirling out over Mr. Compress on Twitter. He is handsome. But I don't know, just like I've been saying, this gives me so much hope for the future of this series, because it looks like everybody is gonna get away, or at least the League of Villains are gonna get away, somewhat with a W here. I mean, they didn't really take much else. I don't know, there's so many possibilities that, oh man, so much speculation, but things are looking good, I'll say. Things are looking very good for My Hero Academia right now, and I just can't wait for everything to play out. I'm super excited. Let me know what you think about this in the comments, guys. What do you think is gonna happen? And if you liked the video, please give it a like. Please subscribe as well. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.